The Crethean young ones had never seen anything like Ambassador Chen before. On their homeworld of Krethos Prime, the arrival of a human diplomat was unprecedented. The Cretheans were apex predators, 3 meters of muscle, claws, and hunting instinct wrapped in obsidian scales. Their empire stretched across 12 systems, built on the philosophy that strength determined worth. Weakness was culled, failure was forgotten. But the Galactic Council had insisted, if the Cretheans wanted full membership, they needed to demonstrate cultural exchange capability. So they sent Chen. The human arrived alone, which the Crethean High Command found insulting. She was small, soft-skinned, with no visible natural weapons. Her species hadn't even developed proper claws, yet she walked through the obsidian halls of the command citadel with steady steps, smiling at guards who could tear her apart without effort. Commander Vexerol watched her through narrowed eyes. "You understand our customs, human? The weak serve the strong. Your species is unproven." Chen's smile never wavered. "Then I guess I'll have to prove myself." The challenge came on her third day. Vexerol's twin cubs, Kira and Thex, had been watching the strange alien with predatory curiosity. At 7 cycles old, they were entering their proving age when young Cretheans learned to hunt, to fight, to survive. "The human is soft," Kira hissed to her brother. "Father says her kind are scavengers, tool users who forgot how to be strong." Thex's tail lashed thoughtfully. "But she does not act weak. She does not fear us." Their opportunity came during the evening meal. The cubs approached Chen in the diplomatic quarters, their movements the careful stalk of born hunters. "Human," Kira announced, "we challenge you." Chen looked up from her datapad, eyebrows raised. "Oh, what kind of challenge?" The cubs exchanged glances. Direct combat was forbidden. Killing a diplomat would cause an incident. But there were other ways to prove dominance. "A trial of provision," Thex declared, improvising. "On Krethos, adults teach cubs to hunt. We will prepare food for you, the way our ancestors did. If you cannot consume it, you prove your weakness. It was a clever trap." Young Cretheans were notoriously terrible at food preparation. Their first hunting catches were always mangled, overcooked, or raw. Adults endured it as a rite of passage, but their enhanced metabolisms could handle almost anything. A fragile human would surely reject the offering. Chen's eyes sparkled. "I accept. When do we start?" The cubs hadn't expected agreement. Kira's scales rippled with uncertainty, but pride demanded they follow through. The kitchen unit was a disaster within minutes. The cubs had selected a local game bird, harmless enough, but their claws shredded the meat. They didn't understand low heat. The control panel sparked under Thex's frustrated strikes. Smoke filled the chamber. Chen watched from a stool, offering gentle suggestions that went mostly ignored. "Maybe a bit less flame? Oh, that's okay, you're doing great. Oh, that's very much on fire now." The final product was a catastrophe, charred beyond recognition, somehow both burnt and raw in different sections, seasoned with what smelled like industrial lubricant, because the cubs had grabbed the wrong container. They presented it to Chen with as much dignity as they could muster. Expecting her to recoil, instead she picked up a piece. The surface crackled ominously. She took a bite. It was objectively terrible. Chen's face remained neutral, but her eyes watered. The meat tasted like ash and regret, with notes of chemical fire. Her human digestive system screamed protests. She swallowed, then took another bite. "This is," she began, and the cubs tensed. "Really something." "You hunted this yourselves?" Kira's head tilted. "Yes, from the Northern Preserve." "That's incredible." "Your first hunt?" Another bite. Chen's jaw worked determinedly. "Second," Thex admitted, watching in fascination as the human continued eating. Chen consumed every piece, every charred, barely edible bite. She asked questions between mouthfuls about hunting techniques, about Crethean traditions, about what the cubs hoped to become. She praised their effort, their initiative, their bravery in challenging a stranger. When the plate was empty, she smiled at them. "Thank you for sharing your culture with me." "That was an honor." The cubs stared, utterly confused. Later, Vexerol found them in the observation deck, unusually quiet. "The human ate it," Kira said softly. "All of it." "It was terrible," Thex added. "We know it was terrible. But she ate it anyway. And she said it was an honor." The commander's scales rippled. "Explain." "She knew," Kira continued, something like wonder in her voice. She knew it was a challenge, that we were trying to prove her weak, but she treated it like we were teaching her, like we mattered. Bexrol was silent for a long moment. In Krathian culture, the strong dominated. The weak were dismissed. There was no framework for this, for someone choosing to honor effort over outcome, for finding strength in kindness rather than conquest. Perhaps, he rumbled slowly, we have misunderstood what makes a species strong. Below, in the medical wing, Chen quietly took an anti-nausea medication and scheduled an emergency stomach flush. It had been absolutely worth it. The cubs had learned something today about courage and respect. And the Krathians were beginning to learn something about humanity. Sometimes the strongest thing you could do was eat the burned food and smile anyway.